Carl, you've had a few days to reflect now on the disappointment of the playoff final, but in terms of giving you that time to reflect and think about the season as a whole, how proud are you of what the team achieved in getting to that playoff final?
Yeah, really proud. Proud of the players and coaching staff. You think about it, the last 6-7 weeks we were playing semi-final football. There was one stage there we were thinking we're not going to make the playoffs if the results don't go away with these games at home, and we had to beat Barrow and we had to beat Workington to probably make the playoffs. Really proud of the boys. Top effort. We're on the road. Just didn't get the result in the last game.
And I know I heard you say in a couple of interviews that no complaints in terms of the result at the weekend. Maybe if anything, the lads looked a bit leggy, didn't they? Probably a result of all the stress and tension of the previous week's action.
Yeah, sometimes in sport you just have to hold your hand up and say, we got beat by the better team on the day, and that was certainly the case. With no complaints with Workington winning that game, thoroughly deserved it. And they had the week off when the playoffs started, then they beat Keighley, then they had the week off before the final. And to be fair, they look fresh. We went up there confident. We're not, we're not going to say we weren't. We prepared the boys well. We had a fantastic night together. We were buoyant. We thought we could go there and get the job done. We'd played some real tough games leading up to that, so we thought we were right, and it maybe just caught up on us. So we have no complaints with Workington. Sometimes that can go against you when you have the weeks off, but obviously Chris had prepared them well, and they won, and fair play to them. They won that game fair and square with no complaints at all.
Of course, the boys were in a huddle at the end of the game. I know you had a few words to say, and you've mentioned as well how visibly upset the lads were, and that shows how much of a tight-knit group we had together. Everyone was desperate to get the job done, not only for themselves but for the lads around them.
Yeah, listen, the players after, if you've seen them after, it showed what the club meant to them and what the loss meant. They were distraught. Some of them were in tears. So we really wanted to get the job done, and it was just the significance of the game. I think the supporters the last 6 weeks have been right with us all the way, and I don't want to lose that. I think that's important. I'm not sure if they understand how much they contributed to our victories, but they were outstanding, and so you've got to tip your hat to them as well. And some of that, they were disappointed. They were as disappointed as the players at the end, because they all knew what it meant to the club. So, we're going to look to put an end of year celebration and a little bit of a presentation on as well for all of us to get together, not just to celebrate, but to thank them. I thought, like I said, I thought they were immense, and, to take 3 buses up to Workington for Doncaster was huge, and they made some noise, and we knew they were there, and that's what hurt as well. It hurt the boys that they couldn't get the job done for them.
Of course, not quite sure what to expect in terms of what the structure is going to look like, what it's going to mean for the club next year, but that connection with the fans is something that has got to stick no matter what, hasn't it, going forward?
Yeah, this club will continue to strive to get better and better, and hopefully try and get to where it needs to be. We need to go one better next year and win it. So regardless of what we're playing for, we've been in 3 semi-finals. This year we made the final. Certainly the club needs to kick on and try and get some success for everyone, for the club, what it deserves. So regardless of what's happening next year, the focus should be on winning it.
Of course, players are going to attract interest given that we got to the playoff final, and I know you've spoken about sitting down with Rich and assessing what's what, but is there a sort of an acceptance that when you finish in a playoff final and you're inches away from promotion, the clubs in higher leagues are going to come sniffing for your best players?
Yeah, I've got a meeting with Gavin Baldwin tomorrow, and we'll sit down with obviously Richard, the finance man, and put the numbers together and start our recruitment. I'll meet with the coaching staff next week. We'll review the season, and hopefully, we can put that to bed. It's going to take some time to get over. It was crushing. It was a tough one for us all, and we're all gutted. It's raw now, but at some stage we've got to park it up and put it to bed and get on with the job in hand. So, yep, we certainly understand we're going to lose some players. That's just how it is, and I can't disrespect any of the players for that. I give them all the credit for wanting to go on and play at the highest level and go and test themselves in the championship. Now, on the flip side of that, Robbie, if we would have got the job done, I think majority would have signed with us on that night. Stayed here, and we add to that, and we'd be a force in the championship, which that was the plan. But yeah, we're going to lose some, certainly, and probably some of the better ones as well, who fans' favourites. And it's not a case of down to finances. It's a case of these boys wanting to play at a higher level. And it's well documented we're losing a lot of central funding, nearly 75-80% of our central funding. So hence the reason I'll meet with Gav and Richard, the finance man, and see what we've got and try and put a strong side together going forward. But we've got a culture at the club now, so the players need to fit within that culture, and we don't want to lose that. We don't want to lose the connection with the supporters. I'm pretty sure they're all on board with us next year and will support us. I think the idea of taking buses to away games, we need to continue doing that, because with the cuts on the finances and everything like that, we need the supporters to be our 18th man, and I'm pretty sure they will be. Honestly, really, really proud of that connection coming back. As a player here, I was loved by the fans when I played, and sometimes it gets a bit sticky when we're not getting the results, and I've got to stand in the front of them and they give me the stick. But at the end of the day, they support this club through thick and thin, and I want to keep that. As much as I'm proud of the boys' efforts out there, I'm really proud of the way the fans got behind us and really supported us. It was immense.